Elaine and welcome to my channel. Well, tomorrow is Easter Sunday and I'm going to be making a ham with my Easter dinner and some other things to go with it. One of the things I'm making is a sweet potato casserole. That goes really good with ham or most any other kind of meat that you can think of. And I'm going to be listing all the ingredients and the recipe and everything down below so you can make this yourself if you like. And stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to include a blooper at the very end, something that went wrong, so you'll be able to see that. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. Okay, now I have about 7 potatoes here, sweet potatoes that I have baked. I put them on this cookie sheet and I baked them for about an hour at 350 degrees. So now at this point, what we're going to do is start just peeling these sweet potatoes. Now you can also, for this recipe if you like, you can use canned sweet potatoes, but I prefer the real ones. Now this little piece here that's a little overdone, I'm just going to cut that off and put it aside. And I'm going to cut these up and just put them in my mixing bowl. Now this recipe was one that I originally got from a friend of mine. She was from Alabama, and I was very young. I wasn't even 20 years old yet, I don't think. But anyway, she had made a sweet potato casserole, and I told her I didn't like them. She said, well, there's something wrong with you if you don't like this. So they made me go ahead and try it, and I fell in love with it. And this is how she told me to do this recipe. So I have been doing it pretty much this way ever since. Now I had my own little tweaks that I did over the years. I added the orange juice. I don't think her original recipe that she gave me did not call for orange juice. But I kind of like the orange juice, so I put it in. I like the flavor that the orange gives the sweet potatoes. Alright, we're getting there. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time to do the real sweet potatoes, but my mother always used canned ones, and I think that was the reason I didn't like sweet potatoes, is I didn't particularly care for the taste of the canned ones so much. But I have had this with canned sweet potatoes. It's actually not too bad that way either, but it's just really a matter of preference, what you prefer. Okay, I'm going to finish getting these cut up, and I will be back with you as soon as I get that done and show you what we're going to do next. Okay, I have finished cutting up my sweet potatoes, and I'm going to do one more thing while I have these in here. I always like to take a pair of scissors and just clip these bigger pieces, and the reason I like to do that is it seems to cut down on any strings that you might get. It's just a little extra step. Oh, that looks like a little bit of a peel. There we go. Got it out. Just helps, because one thing I can't stand is when this is stringy. Now I typically use the smaller, slimmer potatoes because they don't tend to be as stringy as some of the larger ones do. Alright, now you can see what I've done to that. Now, to this I'm going to add about 1/4 of a can maybe of sweetened condensed milk. Now I will you will use the rest of it into something else at another time. Okay, and this is about just a little under 1/3 cup of orange juice. And I'm going to give a good sprinkling of cinnamon. Now it's up to you how much you like. That's kind of a matter of taste. And as I said before, I don't really have a recipe for this. I just kind of go by sight, really. All right, and I'm going to add just about maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt to that. Let me get a towel here. Okay, and I'm going to add about that was about 1/2 cup of sugar. The sweetened condensed milk just helps make this really creamy. That's why I like to have that addition in there. Gives it a real nice texture. All right, and to that I'm going to add just about a teaspoon or so of vanilla. All right. Now what I'm going to do is put this on my mixer, and I will be back with you as soon as I get it mixed and show you what to do next. Okay, I have finished mixing this, and what I have done, this is an 8x6 baking dish, this Pyrex baking dish that I have sprayed with cooking spray. And I have a little bit of this on my spoon. I'm going to taste it and make sure my seasonings are right. And they are. That's pretty good. So let's go ahead and take this up. I'll scrape my beater down a little bit. We don't want to lose any of that. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. And there it is. Let me move this mixer back out of the way. Okay. Now you can see what a nice mixture we have here, nice and smooth. And I'm just going to go ahead and spoon this in my this is just a small casserole dish. Now if you wanted more, you could always make more sweet potatoes and use a larger dish and just adjust your seasonings and everything accordingly to what you have. Okay. And I'm just going to spread this out. And those 7 small sweet potatoes that I used gave me a nice sized little portion. Just for me and my husband. That won't be too much. So I'm going to be back with you in just a moment, and we're going to get the topping ready. Okay, we're ready to make that topping now. So in my bowl, I have 1 cup of just regular all-purpose flour. And this is a lightly packed cup of 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And we're going to add the same amount, 1/2 cup of regular white sugar. Let's pour that right in. I'm going to add just a few dashes of salt, not much, and some more cinnamon. Okay, and I'm just going to take my hand and kind of mix that together with my hand a little bit. And now this is 1/2 cup or 1 stick of softened butter. I softened it in the microwave because a lot of times I forget to take it out of the refrigerator, which I did. So you can soften it in the microwave like I did for just about 10 to 20 seconds, depending on your microwave, and it'll still soften enough to do this. Okay, now I'm doing this with my hand, and the reason I am is I want to feel when it gets to the right consistency. So we're just going to keep mixing this together. You want it to be about the consistency of beach sand, where you can go like that and it'll hold together. Alright, and we're getting there. It just doesn't take it too long. You just got to, like I say, we're just going to keep kind of squeezing this together with my fingers until I get it where I want it. Now I'm not going to be mixing this up until and actually putting the topping on it and putting it in the oven until tomorrow, because this is going to be part of our Easter dinner, and as I believe I said before, and it's going to go really well with ham. So what I'm going to do is just put the sweet potatoes. I'm going to cover them and put them in the refrigerator, and then this topping I'll just cover with plastic wrap and set aside. And then tomorrow we'll just sprinkle this on and bake it, and I'll be glad to show you that tomorrow. But again, it's going to go very well with that ham and the other stuff that I'm fixing with it. All right, there's our crumb topping. You see it holds together like beach sand, but I can break it apart very easily as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff put away and get that set in the refrigerator, and I will be back with you tomorrow to show you what we're going to do to put it in the oven and to show you what the whole Easter meal looks like. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, we just got in from church, and we had a pretty good Easter Sunday service this morning, and my ham got done, and so I'm getting ready to use the oven to put my sweet potato casserole in it. And this is what we did yesterday. This is just the sweet potatoes. And here's the crumb topping. So I'm going to start just crumbling this topping right on here. My oven is preheating to 350 degrees. And I'm going to bake this probably for about 25 to 30 minutes. You just want to bake it until it's heated through and the crumb topping has browned a little bit. And that shouldn't take more than 25-30 minutes at the most. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in the oven, and I will be back with you to show you what everything looks like. Okay, my sweet potato casserole is done, and here's what it looks like. You can see the top is browned nicely and it's heated through. So we're going to enjoy that with our ham. I've got my potatoes and everything else cooking over here. So we're going to go ahead and get set up to eat. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please give me a like and consider subscribing to my channel. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful Easter, and also remember the ingredients are all listed below, and stick around because there's a funny blooper at the end of this. So y'all again have a wonderful Easter, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now. Set that aside. Gonna add, oh!